Hi, everyone. Welcome to Spill the Tea Radio, where we interview awesome singers, songwriters, and those who influence their lives. Spill the Tea Radio explores the journey, creativity, and inspiration behind the songs. My next guest is the frontman for the band Wishwell, an indie rock band from Toronto who advocate for mental health awareness and suicide prevention. They create a safe and fun environment for their listeners to make everyone feel included. So let's spill the tea with Taylor Simpson. Welcome, Taylor.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great, and thanks for joining us on the show. I want to start off by exploring some of the things that you and your bandmates represent, which is
Sure.
mental health awareness. How did you land on that theme? And we know that there are so many people out there that do struggle with mental illness, and not enough being done. We all
hmm
recognize that. How did you
Yeah,
land on that theme for your band to focus on?
sure. So I've been dealing with my own mental health journey for as long as I can remember. Like, not to get too personal here, but my parents passed away when I was really young. And I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and OCD at an early age. So I've had my fair share of dealing with my own mental health and trying to map that out. And I know how it feels, to feel like you're so isolated in it and like you can't connect with anybody because you feel like it's your own. Depression has a way of tearing you apart from other people and making you feel smaller than what you are and making it feel like there's no way out kind of thing. And so yeah, just going through my own journey and all the guys in my band have their own mental health journey as well. So it's just one of those things where it's not like a conscious focus, but we do end up writing a lot about that, about our separate journeys, and we all pitch in on lyrics and stuff. And it's just an important message for us as a band to try and create a safe space for people that feel isolated in their own journey, and just to let them know that, hey, there's other people out here that are struggling with maybe similar things to you, and we're pushing through, we're trying to create a safe space for you. Like, come hang out, come talk to us, talk to your fellow neighbor. Like, yeah, that's kind of like our whole message behind it is just try to create awareness about it and get it out there more and make it more accessible to talk about because I feel like we're taking big strides, I think. Especially after COVID, like a lot of people ended up being affected by mental health issues and illnesses and stuff. So I think we're making good strides, but I still think there's a bit of a stigma surrounding mental health. Like it's still not taken as seriously as it should be. So anything that we can do to help spread awareness about it is, honestly just a cherry on top. Like we're just a band, but like we're gonna do our part to try and help bring awareness to that cause.
How does it transform the way that you feel inside and feel towards others when you're writing music? Is it cathartic for you? Is it your own therapy that you go through when you're writing, when you get into that space?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I would say like every time I write, it's like super cathartic, whether I think about it or not, honestly. It's coming from a place deep within most times. Um, and I think it's a way of just like expressing myself in a way that I wouldn't normally be able to. Like I'm not super good with words most of the time talking to people. Um, and like I'm pretty open about my stories. So it's not like I don't talk about it enough, but I would say like there's just a way that art kind of allows you to tap in a bit more and express yourself in a way that it's just a different medium, right? And so it's super cathartic for me and the guys in my band, of course, as well. And my hope, honestly, is that, I, I love playing live. Like, it's my favorite thing on the planet. Like, I don't feel that kind of euphoria anywhere else in my life other than being on stage playing live music. It's like chasing the high of playing live. Um, and just like seeing people's faces and like if I can make them dance or make them sing back or make them cry or whatever the emotion is, like you're making a connection, which is what it's all about, right? It's that human connection. And I feel like nowadays with technology being so advanced and I feel like it's kind of separating us in this weird digital world. Like, I don't know, you can't beat going to a concert and making that human
Mhm.
connection with somebody. So that's what's so important to me is creating that connection. And it ties back with the mental health stuff too. It's like if if at the end of the day I can make somebody feel less alone in the crowd if they come to see us and they go, "Hey, that guy's singing about depression or anxiety or wherever it may be, and he's up there doing his thing," like I could do that too. If somebody comes to the show and feels that way, then like that's everything to me. Like that's why I do what I do. It's not for the fame, it's not for the money, because there's certainly no money in this industry anymore. Um, it's for that. It's to make the connection
Mhm.
and try to spread awareness about the mental health stuff. So yeah,
Let's talk about the tour.
sure.
What were the cities that you hit? Tell us about what's the good, the bad, and the ugly of touring. Uh, Many fans will look at you, Taylor, and your bandmates and say, "Wow, what a glorious life this is on the roads, living in the best hotels, playing the venues, the riders that are on the contracts where you've got, caviar and strawberries and champagne in the dressing room." What's it really like to be on the road as a band?
Oh, that sounds glorious. I would love if that was true. Maybe one day.
One day.
I mean, that's not the goal, but like I would like to get to a place where that's a possibility. I mean, yeah, let's pull the curtains down because it's not that at all. But like I'm not complaining. Like I want to do this, right? So it's like I'm not complaining whatsoever, but it's not like it's not rose-colored glasses by any means. Yeah, so we ended up we started in Montreal and we just worked our way down. So we did Montreal, Ottawa, Kingston, Oshawa, uh Toronto, Guelph, Hamilton, Oakville, London, Windsor, and then we played a festival in Cookstown. So
Okay.
it was a good stretch. It was like
Yeah.
3 weeks, I think we were on the road. And we played like what, 12 shows in 3 weeks. So it was a lot of playing. It's the most we'd ever done. It was crazy. Oh, it was the time of our lives. We had the best time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was everything that I wanted to be and more. But the ugly part of it is like we made no money. Like,
You don't make money on the tour?
no, hell no.
No.
I
It
mean,
it does cost a lot of money. I mean, there's no question about it. To put a band on the road, when you think about the equipment that you need, the
yeah,
transportation, the hotels, the meals,
yeah.
all of those things, and there is a lot of cost involved.
It's all the behind the scenes stuff that people don't realize, right? It's like we got to
Right.
sleep somewhere. We got
Right.
to eat food regularly throughout the tour. We got to pay gas for the car. We got to like load in, load out stuff. It's just like it's a whole process, right? And so, we're making like what, 10 to 15, maybe $20 a pop for tickets because like we're not a big band. We can't charge more than that.
Right.
So it's like and like this was our first big tour to some of these cities, right? So it's like we don't have a fan base ready for us there yet. And like we tried marketing the best we could, but like obviously it's hard as an indie band, especially in Canada, to get that
Mhm.
kind of exposure, right? So we're walking into some of these venues and like hoping that the other bands, the local bands, can bring their fans and then we can accumulate fans that way. So that the next time we go back, we'll have an audience to play to. But we kind of knew going into this tour that it was going to be a loss, but a gain as well, like a gain in like we did the thing and like we're expanding our horizons and we're trying to get new opportunities and new fans and meeting other bands and stuff and venue owners and just making connections that way too. But yeah, it was a lot of, to summarize it, it was a lot of sleeping on people's floors,
Right.
whoever would have us. So it was a lot of like living rooms, basements, meeting random people and sleeping in their house. It was a lot of fast food. It was a lot of driving, like ton of driving. Sweaty because we did it in September and it was still hot. So it's just like you're going to coin laundry to do your laundry from the show before because you're drenched in sweat. Like, yeah, my shoes stank so badly. Like, you got to bring that like aerosol can. Like,
And you guys are doing it all. I mean, you don't have roadies along with you
hell
like
no.
big bands. You're lugging and slugging equipment, setting it up, tearing it down,
Every night, yep.
every night. What kind of venues were you playing? Were they smaller venues? Are we talking like 100 people, 200 people, 1,000? What kind of venues were they?
Uh, I would love to play 1,000 cap room. Yeah, no, they were like 100 cap, 200 cap rooms.
Let's get into one of the songs that Taylor wrote. This song is a 2024 single release from Wishwell. Let's take a listen to singer-songwriter Taylor Simpson and Wishwell and their song Disconnected.
All at once, it slipped away from me. Times I cherished gone without a trace. Empty vessel on display, hollowed out, existing for the sake of existing. Talk it out, there's nothing left to be said. Work it out, there's nowhere left to be led. Scream it out at the top of my lungs. I don't wanna play along. I don't wanna play along. Trade all my possessions for my memories back. Life's so hazy from this disconnection. Falling into pieces on the floor again. Scattered all over, unable to reconnect them. Talk it out, there's nothing left to be said. Work it out, there's nowhere left to be led. Scream it out at the top of my lungs. I don't wanna play along. I don't wanna play along. Disconnected. Misdirected. Keep forgetting. I'm regressing. Talk it out, there's nothing left to be said. Work it out, there's nowhere left to be led. Scream it out at the top of my lungs. I don't wanna play along. Talk it out, there's nothing left to be said. Work it out, there's nowhere left to be led. Scream it out at the top of my lungs. I don't wanna play along. I don't wanna play along. I don't wanna play along. I don't wanna play along.
That was Taylor Simpson and Wishwell and their song Disconnected. Taylor, tell us about the song. What was the song about? What was the inspiration to write it?
Yeah, so this song is super important to us because this is our first release under the new name Wishwell. There was a point during COVID where I started noticing I was completely spacing out from reality, as I'm sure a lot of people were. But unfortunately, that kind of continued into 2021 and 2022, and even now, honestly, in 2024, it's not as bad, but it's still like, I think I've caught it now, and I'm trying to actively work on it. But basically, I wrote the song about being disconnected. Like hence the title. But yeah, it was a lot of dissociation, a lot of not being able to stay present in a moment. and like really wanting to take in everything, but you're just so absent-minded. And all these like beautiful moments of like being back in the real world again after being trapped in our houses for so long and not being able to absorb anything because you're just so disconnected and so like dissociative. And there, like for example, there's like moments where when we started playing shows again after COVID, like I was so looking forward to playing again and feeling that euphoria we talked about earlier in the show. But I'd get up on stage and the set would go great, but I would get home that night and like then I would come to kind of thing, if that makes sense. Like I would
Mm.
be more present at home and I'd be like, oh man, like I just completely flew on autopilot through that whole show. And it's like I barely remember it. It's like I just checked out.
So how do people find out more about Taylor Simpson and Wishwell? What's the website? What are the socials so people can find
Hmm.
out about where you're playing and your new music that's coming out?
Yeah, thank you, David. Yeah, you can just find us at Wishwell Band on pretty much everything. We got Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, pretty much all the socials, YouTube, same as well, like at Wishwell Band. And then we have a link tree that has all of our stuff on it, just linktree.com/Wishwell Band. Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music or wherever you get your music from, just under Wishwell.
We have been in conversation with Taylor Simpson of Wishwell. Taylor, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, David. I really appreciate it.